Good morning everyone, and thank you for joining me again here at Lindsay's Simply Living. Today I thought it would be really fun to head out and check out the Heritage Day Festival here in Edmonton. It's held on the first weekend in August, the August long weekend. One of the reasons why I wanted to come out here is just to show you that you can still take part in these festivities and these summer events and not worry so much about what you're eating and how it's going to affect your waistline. Now, one of the reasons that I'm out here today so early is because I don't want it to be too hot. I don't want to feel overwhelmed by the number of people that are going to be out here, and I also wanted to make sure that it was cool enough that I felt comfortable walking around for a couple of hours. So all of that walking is really going to help me out with negating any of the food that I'm going to be eating today. So what I'm going to try to do is show you different healthy options that you can choose when you come to events like these. You don't have to go for the hot dogs and the sandwiches and the mini donuts and stuff like that. You can choose healthier options and still enjoy the festivities. So I'm going to take a look around and see what we have here and what sort of options are available. So one of my favorite options to have here is the barbecue corn. This is from the Ecuador Pavilion, and they have all sorts of different butters that you can put on them and different flavoring agents, and it's just a nice healthy option. So this is one of my favorite pavilions from times past. They have some pork roasting on the spit there. One of the things that I like to do is go to the different pavilions and just look at the food and smell it and all the different options that you have. I'm going to bypass this pavilion because there really isn't anything healthy here, but it doesn't mean that I can't take a peek at the delicious pig, give it a sniff, and dream about pork of time gone by. Hi everyone. So I've just stopped to get my tickets for the event. I've come out here myself today. My husband had to work today, so I thought I'd come by on my own and just do a walkabout and film this video and see what sort of healthy food that I could get. So one of the tips that I can give you is make sure that you set yourself a budget for the day. It looks like, just looking around, that most things are between 3 and 6 tickets. So I only want to try a couple of items today, so I went and I got myself 10 tickets. So that should be more than enough for me to try a few different options and give myself a little taste of the culture here. So last year or the year before, my husband and I made a mistake, and I picked up some tickets, some advanced tickets, and he picked up some tickets too. So by the time we got here, we had like 70 tickets to use. Way too much. There's no need that for us to have that much stuff. We ended up staying for several hours. We were drinking really sugary drinks and things like that just to try to use up the tickets, because unfortunately once you buy them, you can't get rid of them. You can try to, pawn them off on people and whatnot, but make sure that you set yourself a budget. 20-30 tickets, that's all you need. You can also bring your own food. If you have small children and things like that, you can bring snacks and food for them. I would also recommend bringing lots of water with you. Water here is ridiculously expensive. I think it's 4 tickets for one water, so that's $4, right? So just something to keep in mind. You can always buy more tickets if you need to, but make sure that you don't buy a whole whacking chunk of tickets, because they're really hard to offload once you do that. So I'm gonna run off and try to spend some of my tickets, and I'll take a moment to show you the different treats that I end up getting. So off we go. So here we have the French Pavilion, famous for all of its different varieties of crepes. So I'm just gonna take a look at the pavilion and keep on walking. So here we are at the Thai Pavilion. So if you're a vegetarian or you prefer options that are gluten-free, there's lots of different pavilions that have vegetarian options, and even the vegetarian pad thai would be a nice healthy option if you wanted to stay away from anything that was really fatty or deep fried or anything like that. So another one of the reasons that I like to come to these events earlier in the day is because it's not so hot. It's a bit of a cooler day, but I find that at these events there's a lot of smoothies and juices and slushies and Slurpees and things like that. So I try to make sure that I only drink water when I come to these events, because there's no use in drinking all of those empty calories. So if you look behind me here, there's a giant poster of a delicious mango smoothie. As tempting as it is, I'm gonna bypass it and just keep on moving. So as you can see here, we're at the Venezuela Pavilion, and there's a lot of different options that you can choose from, but you want to stay away from anything that's deep fried or battered or anything that's covered in sauces. So just take some time and take a look and see what ingredients are listed, and you can make the most healthy choice from there. So my background is Polish, but I love anything that's Slovak with sausage and pierogies and sour cream and cabbages, and anything that's just covered in sour cream and served with sausage is all right by me. But I'm just at the Russia Pavilion right now, and I was taking a look to see if there was anything that had less calories or less fat than I would enjoy eating, but unfortunately everything at this pavilion is coated in flour and butter and sugar and lots of fat. So I'm just gonna bypass it, but don't be afraid to have a bit of a treat. If you're coming to an event like this, you don't have to be really strict or a big stickler with what you're eating. You just want to make the best options and the best choices that you can. So if I really wanted a delicious plate of pierogies with a side of sausage and a big bowl of borscht with a big dollop of sour cream or something like that, I would plan that would be the only thing that I eat at this event. Unfortunately, with events like these, there's hundreds of vendors and different pavilions, so you want to make sure that you don't, blow your load on the first pavilion that you see and eat your calorie allotment on just one thing. So sometimes it's good to take a walk around, see what is out there, sort of like a buffet. Before you load up your plate, take a look and see what's happening around and make your decisions from there. So unfortunately, no Russian food for me today. So just an example of some of the types of things that you can think about when you're coming to these pavilions is you don't necessarily have to have a meal. You don't necessarily have to have everything on the menu. I was just walking by the German pavilion here and noticed that for 2 tickets, they have a helping of sauerkraut. One of my favorite foods. It's really good for digestion. It's healthy, it's light, and it's really delicious and flavorful. And it gives you a taste of the culture and of the pavilion without having all of those added carbs and calories and fats. So I think I'm going to grab myself a little bowl of the sauerkraut. So I made my way to the Iranian Persian Pavilion and found some delicious, fresh, cold watermelon. So it's light, healthy, barely any calories, and it's going to be really refreshing. So here we are at the Egyptian Pavilion. They have chicken shawarma, falafels, vegetarian options, again some light choices like watermelon, and they have a pharaoh. Not every day you get to see a pharaoh. So one of the really good things about this event is it's spread over many acres out in Horlack Park, and I'm getting a workout just from walking up and down the hills and viewing all of the different pavilions. So even if I were to eat something that wasn't necessarily super good for me, I wouldn't feel too bad about it because I'm getting a ton of exercise today. So I'm gonna keep on trekking. So here we are at Poland, my mother country, my heritage country, and I'm just going to take a look and see if there's anything there that is possibly edible for me on my diet. And yeah, we'll see what we can get. So it looks like there's some crepes, some donuts, some iced cappuccinos, combo plate with stew and pierogies and sausage, some pierogies with sour cream, and sausage with bread and sausage with stew. So this is a no-go for me. It's also really expensive, but yeah, it's too bad, but I'll see what else I can find. So I was able to locate some delicious peanut beef satay skewers from the Malaysian pavilion. They were actually really expensive. For these 3 skewers, it was $8, so looks like a healthier option, and I'm gonna dig in and see how they taste. They're really super delicious. Very good. So I'm just winding down my visit to the Edmonton Heritage Days Festival here in 2016. I didn't eat too much. I had some satay skewers from the Malaysia Pavilion. I also had some delicious watermelon from the Iranian Pavilion. I didn't want to spend too much money, didn't want to eat too much. I could have went crazy, bought a bunch of tickets and ate my face off, but I decided that I just wanted to eat healthfully today, drink lots of water, and sample only a couple of the dishes. I've been here numerous times. I know what a lot of the different food tastes like, so I didn't feel like I was missing out. So thank you again for joining me here at Lindsay's Simply Living, taking steps every day towards health and wellness, making sure that I get out and enjoy these wonderful cultural events that rejuvenate my spirit, make me feel alive, and make me see all the different diversity and cultures that we have here in the city. So thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Take care.